we think it's a good point, a good time to start discussing some really good emerging young Canadian talent in the Canadian Premier League. With the Canadian squad release on Friday night, there was plenty of young players that were included in Jesse Marsh's side. Names that probably wouldn't have been very much on the radar even 4 years ago, but the cycle keeps on churning, and really good young players that's the great news, are continue to be produced in this country. If we're going to select a young player in the CPL right now, who in our estimation is one of the more exciting talents to watch, or will be at least to follow in the coming seasons, what name or what player would you point to, Jordan?
I think my pick has to go to Anthony Aromatario for Forge FC. I think in that midfield, you're looking at so many players that have played there, Hijab Rapport, Asher Janssen, guys that have owned that role and played for Bobby Simeone. It's not easy side to play with Kyle Becker, that's been a mainstay. But this player has come into this season and to this league looking like he's been here before. And look, I don't want to be hyperbolic and gas him up and be like he can do no wrong. Obviously, he's still going to have to develop and like take his lumps and just progress as a player. But for him being fresh and coming into this league and looking the part and playing the Forge way, and Bobby Simeone is trusting him in big moments, I think it bodes well for him. And look, I'm not saying in 4 years' time that he needs to be playing for the national team, but I'm saying that he has a bright future in this game. I think that he could play a year, maybe 2 years here in the Canadian Premier League, and then he can make a move. Similar to like Joel Waterman, similar to players like that have taken and been top players in the Canadian Premier League, but showing that they can also play in leagues higher. So this is what I think about Aromatario and the quality that he possesses. He looks the part, and he's played the part so far.
And he's from Woodbridge as well, so I like him even more.
That's why you're grinning.
I like him. I think he's got a huge upside to him, lots of potential. The way that he covers as much ground as he does, and on the ball, he's comfortable. He plays older than what he is when I watch him right now, and that's good because that's a sign of maturity, and he's only going to continue to get better.
What's interesting about him, like he's less than 10 games into his CPL, his professional career, having played in the Ontario Premier League before that. He's 23. That's a little bit of a late bloomer because typically we're looking at players a lot younger. But this continues to be the case in this country still, Jimmy. Like, Moise Mbito comes on a little bit later after some time. Not every players have a linear route where you recognize at a really early stage, some it takes a little bit more time than others.
It does, and you're right, Gareth.
No, it's just the way that our system works. Like, you work with young players all the time.
No, you're 100% right. Some guys mature a little bit quicker. Some guys, they improve as players quicker than others. And others, it takes a little bit of time for them to figure themselves out, be comfortable in possession, out of possession, learn the tactical side of the game. And we've seen it over time. And I think another prime example is even Kone as well. Kone really got better over the last number of years where he started to get identified as this top rising talent. But it's no different with your man right now that we're talking about. I mean, he's 23, but it doesn't matter these days. As long as he's still heading in the right direction, he's going to be a very good player.
Ali Ahmed, Taniolo, Shea, like they've all taken different paths. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, no, it's our pathway. It's also how things are in North America a little bit, right? Like you look at Europe and maybe 18, you're already knowing what you're going to do. But for 18, you're graduating high school and probably going to school. Like there's not many times where you could look at any footballer and be like, you were just playing and winning a national championship at university months ago, and then now you're playing as a pro. Like, there is a benefit to that from obviously growing up, and you could do something and from a career standpoint, but it's different. That's the Canadian experience. You kind of do both and then maybe choose a path later on.
And from a scouting and opportunity perspective, you have to just be able to cast a wider net in this country.
Of course you do.
Just the way that it works. All right, Jimmy, who are you enjoying following or watching?
I'm going to take Altobelli. Nice. I really like him. I think he's... we're starting to see a future star in this league. He's come through Toronto FC Academy. They loved him there as well. Johnny Cimini worked very closely with him. I remember when I was at York, we tried to get him in. We did get him in, but then he had a few health issues that he had to deal with at the time. Ended up going back to Toronto FC, continued to develop, and then ended up going to Inter Toronto, where over the last year or so, he's really started to shine. He's finding his own. He's proven that he's a natural goal scorer. His movement all around the pitch has been very, very good. His delivery, the way that he sees the game, the way that he can shoot from distance, up and close, never panics, passes the ball into the back of the net, uses power when he has to. His creativity is second to none. He always seems to find space. To me, That is the type of player that's constantly thinking. Always thinking, knowing where the ball is. How do I get away from my man? Because I only need half a yard before I get a shot off. And he's got such a quick release at times, Jordan.
The thing about Altobelli and Aromatario that both have in common, which I think bodes well for their future, is their work ethic. And look, I was in Denmark for about 5 years, and I've seen so many talented players and players that don't make it. The biggest thing that stands out is your work ethic and your discipline. Yeah. Both those two players that we're speaking about have that. Yes, they're talented, but you could ask Bobby Smirniotis, you could ask Mario Eustachio. We even talked to Altobelli last week. He had a screamer. He didn't even focus on that. He was like, I missed the chance. I should have scored. Like, it's the same with Aromatario. He's the same guy Bobby Smirniotis says, get inside. And you know this from coaching in this league. They're the players that are quick to go inside after and not really do the recovery, and the ones that you have to say, look, take a break. Like, they always want to train. Yeah. So I think with those players being 23, they want to make up so much time, and that's very good for their future.
I feel like every time I see them, every performance, they're getting a little bit better and better. The progression is there, playing to see on a week-to-week basis. My pick, I'm just going a little bit younger because he's the most exciting teenager in the Canadian Premier League for me, not based on the position that he plays, but how good he could be. Yeah. And that's Sergei Kozlovskiy. He's with the Canada under-20 now. He's 17. He's born in 2008.
Man-child.
2008. That is just wild to me. Yeah. He's got over 30 professional appearances already. That's something that doesn't happen without the Canadian Premier League. Yes. And he's a regular in the under-20s. We're looking at some of the center back issues that Canada is going through right now. A left-sided center back that's progressive, is really good on the ball, can ping the ball all over the park. I just think sky's the limit with this player, and he might be the one with the highest ceiling based upon where he is now and his age profile.
His age, his profile, his dominance. Like, I don't say man-child lightly. Look, Jimmy, you're my coach as well. Wheels, we talk so many times. I have no problem going to a tackle with anyone. Kozlovskiy is built different. Yeah. You have to think twice when you're going in with this. And he's 17. He's still a teenager. So I think you're so right, Wheels, when you pick him up because he still has room to grow. I think what happens next for his career, meaning if you stay with Atletico Ottawa, what his next step looks like will be crucial for him. But in terms of his left foot, the fact that he can be versatile playing a back three or in a center back role at the left side, I really like that shout of Kozlovskiy.
Yeah, who's the next one to move on for you? Because every year there's a player or two that makes that notable step. Or is it one of those three? Is it potentially someone else? I just wonder how things might play out.
I think so. Out of those three, I think Altobelli, I'm looking at this season, if he can continue to keep that pace, like you see Coimbra move, you see Salta move, both of them went to Scandinavia. I could see something similar for Altobelli based on, again, his professionalism, but also his numbers. Yeah. The fact that you score goals, we know how hard it is. Like those guys that actually can put up numbers consistently, then you have the pick of the litter of where you're going to go.
That's what it is. I mean, look, most times, if you're a prolific goal scorer, you can score. Last year, 15 goals in all competitions. This year, 4 already. If he can keep getting to that 15 mark every season and maybe do it again next season, someone's going to have a bite at him because everybody's looking for a goal scorer. And not only can he finish, it's all the rest of the work that he can do with it.
Yeah, and now there's a clear pathway. Salter was the latest, that wasn't always the case. These are the opportunities that are now being afforded to these young players when they make an impression here in the Canadian Premier League.